We've seen many scandalous decisions for Scottish clubs in the Scottish national team in European competitions, and tonight was another one of them as Rangers get absolutely robbed as the referee completes the Italian job on them inside Hampden. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. What a disgrace of a game, what a disgrace of a decision, what a disgrace of a sending off that completely changed the game and basically cheated Rangers out of a fair chance to qualify for the playoff rounds of the Champions League. Now, Big Stevie Cool is feeling, he's not feeling too good right now. We might have a little bit of a audio patching from him later, but let's talk about this game. This game was an absolute disaster from the official standpoint because he has completely turned the tide on this match. He's turned it upside down. He has decided the outcome. Not a good moment from Rangers, not a good moment from Dynamo Kiev. There was no moment of brilliance from either side that decided this match. What decided this match was one of the worst sending-offs I've ever seen. What decided this match was a second yellow that was never in a million years a second yellow card. Now, I've heard that dipshit Alan Hutton talk after the game, and he says, oh, you can't check yellow cards, you can't check second yellows, you can only check reds, we're not going to check second yellows. Why not? Why the fuck not? Dumbass. Second yellow cards, second yellow cards, they have the same impact, they have the same outcome as a straight red. What does it matter? If you get a straight red card or if you get a second yellow card, it's the same shit. You're getting sent off at the end of the day. Of course VAR should check that. Of course they should be able to go to the monitor. They should call the referee over and say, look, you stupid Italian bastard, you've got this decision wrong. Of course they should be able to do that. But did they do that? No, they didn't. They just fucked Rangers out of Europe. More coefficient points down the drain. Another Scottish team kicked out of the, the biggest competition. And it's a joke. It's absolutely embarrassing, man. They're making a mockery out of football. How can you have this technology? How can you have it at your fucking fingertips but not use it because it's a fucking second yellow? I mean, no, that's dumb. I mean, that's absolute dumb because it's a second yellow card. We can't check the monitor. But in this occasion, a second yellow card has the same impact as a straight red card. What difference does it make? Well, it's the second yellow or the first red. It's resulting in a player getting sent off. You dumbasses. You fucking stupid fucks. Why can't you understand that? Makes no sense to me. Makes absolutely no sense to me. I just do not get the rule. Honestly, I do not get the rule. It makes no sense whatsoever. How can you have two different cards that can have the same outcome, but only one is worthy of being checked? If someone is on if someone's on a yellow and they commit a red card challenge, they're going to get a second yellow anyway. So what difference does it make? Surely you check it. Surely there should be a rule. I understand, okay, first yellow cards, we don't have time to go to VAR and check all of them. But second yellow cards, they have to be checked. It's the same outcome as a red. They have to be checked. They need to change that. What's the point of paying for fucking VAR when you're just making a mockery out of football? So if Hefty got a straight red here, he'd still be on the pitch, but because he got a second yellow, he's off the pitch. Regardless, he should have been staying on the pitch anyway. And one thing about Popoff, Popoff, what a fanny, man. Seriously, this guy constantly rolling about the ground, crying his eyes out, pretending to be hurt. Absolutely embarrassing, man. I find all the Ukrainians embarrassing, to be honest. I see this a lot with Ukrainian footballers. They cry about this war. They cry about their country being invaded. Yet you see them rolling about the pitch, acting like fannies, like they're actually hurt. It's embarrassing, man. It's pathetic. This guy's probably been complaining about Russia. This guy's probably been moaning about what's happening in Ukraine and how things aren't fair. Yet, if he knows his country's at war and he's rolling about the pitch like he's legitimately hurt, that's pathetic, man. That is embarrassing. I would be embarrassed, man. And we're supposed to believe that, oh, Ukraine are tough. Ukraine, oh, they're a country of fighters. No, they're a country of pussies, man. Every time you see their footballers, they're rolling about the fucking deck, man. They've become the new Italians. Speaking of Italians, let's just go back to the ref. This guy fucking sucks, man. Fuck him. Anyway, we should probably talk about the game because, well, actually, no, we'll probably hear what Big Stevie Cool's got to say about the game, but I'm pissed off, man. I'm sick of Scottish teams getting fucking robbed. Last year, Aberdeen were robbed out of a win against PAC. I don't know how many times the Scottish national team has been robbed out of victories, robbed out of qualifications. I'll never forget Scotland versus Italy in that World Cup, that European qualifying game. I'll never forget that one at Hampden. The free kick that he gave against, I can't even remember who he gave it. I think it was Alan Hutton. But that was never a free kick. I mean, the decisions that we've had against us, I remember the Czech Republic penalty as well, just embarrassing decision over and over again. And tonight's as bad as any of them, to be honest. It was never. And look, I'm not saying that Rangers were on top. I'm not saying that Rangers were dominating. I'm not saying that Rangers would have won and that they deserved to win. It was a pretty poor game of football, but it was set up. The tie was in the balance. It was 50-50. It was essentially a coin toss. And Rangers had that half chance of going through. They had that 50% chance of going through. But the referee took that away from them, essentially, when he sent Hefty off. But, yeah, we will hear what Big Stevie Cool's got to say, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the game.
So, I guess this is the part of the fid where Big Stevie chimes in for Fog Football. Well, what is there to say, folks? It was never a red, but, you know, Rangers just aren't good enough. We can blame the referee, and I will blame the referee. We can blame the fourth officials, the officials, whatever. You know, Clement obviously had a beef with them at the end, rightfully so. Boyd said it was never not a penalty, a red. So did Merson. So did a lot of people. But, you know, this comes from above the players in Clement. And even the referees on this pitch. Rangers board has just let this club down for years now. And, you know, the players let us down last season. Clement has a part to play in that as well. But we should have won the league. The fact of the matter is this, we shouldn't be scraping our way through a Champions League qualifier. We should have built on what we had a couple of years ago with 55, but Rangers, the neglect is there for all to see. We're not good enough, you know, there wasn't much in the game. We did get cheated, but this team's not ready for the Champions League. We needed the money, right? And we needed at least that playoff money. And what's happening? What is going to happen to this football club now? Honestly, man, I look at this, I'm just thinking, what is next for Rangers Football Club? It's honestly, it's utterly bizarre, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a red, but you know, it would be very reactionary to come out tonight and just turn around and say, oh, it's the referees that cheated. We shouldn't be in this predicament. You know, this stems back to last season. The same players that we think have been cheated tonight bottled it last season, and they've bottled it for a few seasons, so let's not get it twisted. But again, awful decision, never a red. It's going to get worse before it gets better for Rangers Football Club, honestly. I don't even know what to say regardless, but yeah, that's my portion of this Fog Football video, and yeah, I'll need to sleep on this because I could go ballistic. And as for the officials as well, I think it's just as simple that UEFA want a Ukrainian team in there. Honestly, that is one of the most corrupt games I've seen in recent memory. You know, it's not quite Barcelona against Chelsea those years ago, but, or you know, like the South Korean World Cup or whatever, but it's bad. It's real bad.
Right, well, apparently, guys, it is real bad. But, you know, I'm going to disagree with that take about how, it's not tonight. It's the Rangers board that has let Rangers down, not building, all that shit. I think that's nonsense, to be honest. It doesn't matter how good or bad your team is or how well run your club is or whatnot. I don't care if it's Livingston that are in the Champions League, that they're in this third qualifying round match. It doesn't matter what the board have done or what they've not done. Nobody deserves to have this decision go against them. Now, you can sit and say Rangers should be a better team, they should have won the league the past couple of years, and if the board maybe spent more money and did better at the club, then maybe they would have. But the fact is, they haven't. Rangers finished second, they need to play the qualification games. That's the fact, okay? The fact is, Rangers haven't won the league the last few years, so they're in the qualification rounds. You can't blame the board, you can't blame players from last season. The only person to blame, it's the fucking referee and the officials, because they've got this one massively wrong. And I don't care how good Rangers have been or how good they haven't been. This was not a second yellow card, and the decision shouldn't have happened. So it's as simple as that. I don't care about not building on title 55 or throwing away the league last year. That's irrelevant. What's relevant tonight is Hefty got sent off for something he should never, ever had been sent off for, man. It's as simple as that. Now, let's talk about the last 2 goals, or the only 2 goals even. The first one, I thought was poor defending from the midfield. Now, Davis initially blocks a cross and it comes back out to the Ukrainian. He plays it to his teammate. I'm totally forgetting the names here, but at this point I don't really care about the names of the Ukrainian players. I think it was it Volkanovski or some shit like that, or Pika Halunik. Pika Halunik, I think we'll go with that. Yeah, I know it's wrong, but whatever. So he picked the ball up, and he was just given too much space, and he came into the edge of the box, and he took a shot, and it went in. Sterling needed to get out quicker. Rangers midfield were dropping so deep. I get it, they were probably just trying to see the game out, but they were dropping so deep, and the midfielders just were not quick enough to come out. And I'm not blaming Sterling, even though he was the closest player to him. I just think as a collective unit, I think they were way too deep for that goal. So I reckon that's the fault for the first goal, and it's a good strike. But if you give a good player that can finish a ball, that can strike a ball, you give someone who's decent a shot from there, the likelihood is they will get it on target and they will test the keeper. And this guy did that against Butland. And then Rangers, for whatever reason, look, there was still about 12 minutes to go here when you factor in injury time and things like that. I think Rangers should have just calmed down, tried to get on top of the game, try and get a little bit of possession. Dynamo Kiev would have likely sat back. They would have sat in and tried to defend their 1-0 lead, and then Rangers could have maybe got control of the game and created a chance or two. But what they did was pretty much straight away from the first goal, they just pressed and they committed so many bodies forward, and it led to Dynamo Kiev just hitting them straight on the counter-attack. And again, they got a bit lucky with the deflection with the cross, but it fell for Karafiev, and he blasted it in. And Rangers at 2-0, they had no chance. They had no chance. I think that they shouldn't have went as gun-ho. They had about 12 minutes to try and create a chance, try and get a good set piece, but they went all out from the kick-off for the first goal, and it backfired. I know it's Champions League, I know there wasn't a lot of time left, and I guess with hindsight it's easy to say that, but it just looks like Rangers got too reckless too soon, especially losing a man, having a man disadvantage, and they got caught. I mean, in the end, there was a few crosses in, they had a corner and stuff like that, but there was never any real chance, and Popov was going down every 2 minutes complaining and crying about being injured, so fuck him. Rangers are out of Europe, guys, it is what it is. Well, they're not out of Europe, they're out of the Champions League, they're still in the Europa League. I mean, it's probably better for them in terms of having success and going further in the competition, because I think the Europa League Rangers have shown over recent years that they can do decent in that competition. That's a competition that they should be looking to get out of the groups. I think they can, even though it's a new format this year, I still think Rangers should be aiming to get into the knockout rounds of that. But yeah, obviously Champions League is where the money is, and Rangers need the money. So I mean, it's not ideal, but at least they're still in Europe. However, it's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It was never a red card, never a second yellow, whatever, never sending off. And yeah, I mean, the referees completely screwed Rangers tonight. But like I said, nothing new. Scottish teams are used to this. It happens all the time in Europe, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, it's a terrible decision. Rangers now focus on the League Cup. Thursday night, we have Kilmarnock and St Mirren flying the flag for Scotland. At this point, I'd probably bite your hand off if you offered one of them to go through, because I'm just not convinced that we'll get either team into the next round. Yeah, I'm worried. I do think that we will say goodbye to St Mirren and Kilmarnock on Thursday night, and then we're left with 3 teams. And the likelihood is Hearts will probably drop into Europa Conference League. So, I mean, I guess we could have, well, we probably will have a Scottish team in all 3 competitions, which is pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, big opportunity lost tonight, or should I say taken away, because Rangers unfairly had a man sent off, and we'll see what happens on Thursday night. But yeah, guys, Dynamo Kiev, they won by 2-0. Didn't think there was much in the game, didn't think anyone really deserved it. It probably one of those games that probably could have easily went to extra time and penalties if 11 men had remained on the pitch for both teams, but that didn't happen, and then obviously Dynamo Kiev stole the game late on. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Terrible decision, and yeah, I cannot believe it, but I kind of can believe it because it always kind of happens to Scottish teams. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.